little bit of chaos over here. Yeah, Restream decided not to send my current date information. So I was scrambling to see what was going on and missed the Rubber Company fire, which we digitized for the Prelinger archive. So there you go. All right. I didn't think it was possible, but we found a Sid Davis film that might have a toe tapper. And we're not talking about Roscoe's Rules, where it's essentially that mechanical bear playing drums. This is How to Protect Your Bike. And it's pretty good. Like, I really enjoy it. Here we go. Enjoy.
Two fingers, three fingers, 4, 5 fingers stand behind you. How to protect your bike?
5 fingers make a hand that says stop. Remember the 5 points of how to protect your bike. This is Dave. He's stopping by the grocery store on his brand new bike. The first really important thing he's ever owned. Hey, Dave, hold it. Aren't you forgetting something? How about the chain and lock? Is your bike safe out there like that? Let's do it again. That's it. That's it, Dave. But little does Dave know that sitting at that very corner is Creepo the thief, the worst bike thief in 50 states. Creepo has hunger bikes, and he's smart. Will he get Dave's bike? Let's see. What's this? Lock! Yeah, Creepo buddy, that one. Locked to the bike rack. Curses! Foiled! But maybe some sucker will come along and leave his bike without locking. Here's Blue Cooper. He's always in a rush. He doesn't mind worrying about the little things like Lock's bike. Hey, Creepo, maybe Cooper is the sucker you've been waiting for. Looks like his bike is just asking to be taken. Here comes Cooper. Surprise, Cooper! Your bike is gone. Point 1. Lock your bike, or it can disappear in a flash, as Goofer found out. This is Kathy. She needs a good place to park her bike. The alley is too dark and quiet. Even though there's no bike rack where she's going, at least she can lock it where she can keep an eye on it. From inside, where there are people going by, you see anyone fooling around with a locked bike. It's a good thing she did, because little did she know that Creepo the thief was at that very place and looking things over. Here's Dilly. She doesn't dally. Up the alley. That's fine with her. Does she lock her bike? Sure, she locks her bike. Little does she know that Creepo just loves quiet places like alleys. And it's easy to just pick up Dilly's bike, lock, chain and all, and put it into his handy little van. Surprise, Dilly! 2. Lock your bike in as safe a place as you can find. Dilly didn't. There's a right chain and a wrong chain for any job. Like a dog chain. That's the right chain for Dave's dog, but it's not the one he's using on his bike. For that job, he got the best chain and lock he could find. His dad told him not to try to save a few dollars on a chain and lock and wind up losing his bike. But little does Dave know, a clever hole in the newspaper. Creepo has observed the whole scene. And he brought his bolt cutter this time. It should do the trick, unless Dave's chain and lock are tough enough. Creepo has another cutter up his sleeve. Well, not exactly up his sleeve, but anyway, it looks like this would cut through anything. Nope. Dave had the right chain and lock. Creepo will just have to wait for some sucker. Maybe this is the sucker Creepo was waiting for. Look at that flimsy chain and padlock, the same one he uses for his dog. Well, that was sure easy. And Creepo was so happy to get the bike that he forgot his cutters. Surprise, Goofer! Too bad. He didn't know point 3, to use a good chain and lock. A smart person always remembers to lock your bike in a wise location with the best chain and lock you can get. Kathy sure takes good care of her bike. She locks it to something good and solid, like the post on her front porch. Notice how she carefully puts the chain through the front wheel, then around the post, and through the rear wheel and the triangle of the bike frame. A tree is also a good thing for locking a bike, and if one chain isn't long enough, you can use 2 locks and 2 chains end to end. Or, if you have one chain, you can loop and lock around the front wheel and frame, and around the back wheel and frame, one in the front and one in the back. Well, here's Dilly. She's dizzy and in a tizzy. She doesn't bother to chain through the frame. She just chains the front wheel. Little does Dilly know that Creepo just happens to be in the neighborhood. Will he get Kathy's bike? No way. How about that other bike? Creepo has special tools for a job like this. Creepo has his handy wrench, unscrews 2 nuts, and there goes her frame and back wheel. All Creepo has to do is get a front wheel somewhere, and he's got himself another bike. No surprise for Kathy. She took care of point 4. She chained her bike properly. But Creepo is really smart, and just in case something goes wrong, there's one thing else to do. Most bikes have a serial number stamped into the bike frame. This number would be given to the local police department for registration in their files, and at least one copy kept at home in a safe place. If your bike has no serial number, or even if it has one, it's possible to put a personal secret type of identification mark on parts of the bike. You can get an electric needle or metal marking pen in most hobby shops. In some towns, a bike is supposed to have a license plate. All these things are so that the police can help you get your bike back. Jeff and Tom had seen this fellow around a few times before their bikes were missing, so they told their friend the policeman when they saw Creepo up the alley with his van. Jeff says that's his bike and the registration number is on the frame. Just to prove it, he shows his copy of the serial number burned into the tag on his keychain. But the policeman can't find it. It's been filed off. But Jeff says, look there for my secret mark. Aha! It's there all right. Now the policeman wants to see the bike that's in the van. Tom says he carries a copy of his license number in his wallet. See how it matches to the license number on the bike? Creepo just remembered he had something to do somewhere else. So these boys took care of the fifth point. They had all the registered evidence that they were their bikes. Creepo lost the game. Maybe some new invention will be out soon that'll take care of any bicycle thief. Some kind of secret alarm. But for right now, stop. Protect your bike. Remember and practice the 5 good habits of keeping your bike. Lock your bike in a wise location with a good chain and lock, chained around something strong and through both wheels and frame, and registered in every way you can.
Fingers can remind you how to protect your bike. Your bike!
Oh boy, technology is just not working for me today. I try to hit buttons and they're not getting hit, all that stuff. There's so many, and then the microwave's going off. Oh boy. Anyways, was that a toe tapper at the beginning? I mean, it was a Sid Davis film. You know, it wasn't the best toe tapper. It didn't go on very long, but I mean, come on, I'll take it. Here's a film. It's missing the title, but this is a great film made by Coronet called Dating Do's and Don'ts. Enjoy.
Yes, Mom, I've got it. What's that? Oh, yes, the ticket he told me about. Well, let's see what he has to say. Here's the latest on my broken ankle. Doc says I'll be all right, only I have to stay off my feet for a week or so. Anyway, here's the ticket for the High Teen Carnival. It's too late to turn it in, so you have yourself a time and tell me all about it. One couple. That means a date. Not like just going around with the crowd. Just me and the girl. Well, that's all right. Only, what girl? Who?
How do you choose a date? Whose company would you enjoy? Well, one thing you can consider is looks. Woody thought of Janice and how good-looking she was. He'd really have to rate to date somebody like her. Yes, he'd enjoy that, except, well, it's too bad Janice always acts so superior and bored. She'd make a fellow feel awkward and inferior. Well, perhaps someone who doesn't feel superior. There's Betty, and yet it just doesn't seem as if she'd be much fun. What about Anne? She knows how to have a good time and how to make the fellow with her relax, have fun too. Yes, that's what a boy likes. He wants to know he's appreciated. Anne would be fun on a date. So Woody decided he'd ask Anne for this first date. But just how should he ask her? And what if she refused? No, it won't be easy asking for that first date.
Well, Woody, hi.
Hi, Ed.
What you doing?
Just thinking.
Don't work too hard.
Ed, is this private?
No, stick around if you like.
Well, hello, Edward. I thought I heard you come in.
Hi, Mom. What's for supper?
Oh, Mom, is it all right with you if I have a date Saturday night?
Well, of course, you generally go out on Saturdays.
Hello. May I speak to Mary, please?
But, Mom, this is different. A date. Well, I haven't asked her yet, but I'd like to take Aunt Davis to the High Teen Carnival.
Oh, Anne's a nice girl, but a date? Well, you're rather young.
Oh, Mom, give him a break. I think he can swing it. We all have to start sometime.
Well, if you don't overdo on dating, Ed knows what I mean. Weekends only, and not too late.
Thanks,
Mary?
Mom.
I just called up to check on tonight. I think I can get by a little earlier than usual. How's 7:30? All right, Mary. Bye now.
Boy, you sure make it sound easy. How do you do it?
Practice, my boy. Experience.
But I don't think I'll know what to say, what to talk about.
Now, don't worry about that. Just be your natural, talkative old self. Come on, let's see what's for supper.
Wait a second. Oh, Mom, is the floor dry yet?
Yes, you can come in.
Hello, Mrs. Davis. This is Woody. I mean, Alan Woodruff. May I speak to Anne?
How do you ask for a date? What about this?
Anne? Well, how about a date? Well, I mean...
Well, really, no thanks, Woody.
Well, suppose he did it this way.
Hi, Anne. What you doing Saturday night?
Well, I guess I'm busy.
Oh, yeah? Any chance of giving him the brush off for me?
Well, of all the nerve!
Well, is there another way?
Anne? This is Woody. Well, I have a ticket for the High Teen Carnival Saturday, and... Well, would you like to go?
Why, yes, Woody. I'll have to talk to my folks about it, but I think I can go. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, shall I pick you up about 8 o'clock?
That's fine, Woody. 8 o'clock Saturday. I think it'll be all right, but I'll let you know for sure. Bye. A date with Woody. Saturday.
Come in.
Hi, Ann.
Hi, Judy.
What are you doing?
Why aren't you the inquisitive little sister? I'm getting ready for my date tonight with Woody.
Oh, he's nice. A date, huh? What'll you do? Go to some fancy place for dinner?
No, silly. We're going to the High Teen Carnival, and then he'll bring me home.
Oh, that doesn't sound like much.
We'd have fun at the carnival, you and I, wouldn't we?
Oh, yes.
Well, Woody and I are going to have fun in just that way. I think the important thing about a date is to have a good time. And you don't need to spend a lot of money to do that. You just enjoy whatever you're doing, whether it's movies or parties or anything. And you leave your boyfriend enough money so he'll ask you again.
My, you'll be out late.
Why not particularly late? Mom and Dad and I have an agreement about what time to come in. Look, will you be a honey and get my stockings from the bathroom?
Sure.
Mom, do we have any cleaning fluid? There's a spot on my coat.
Goodness, you know we have some. Oh, here, let me.
No, I'll do it.
That's it, son. Look your best. Your first date is mighty important.
Yeah. Dad, were you excited the night of your first date?
I sure was.
So was I. I took my date seriously. A date was a major event. Why, the night of my first date, my date had a flat tire and he was an hour late. And he didn't even bother to call me. Well, when he finally came, I had to run upstairs and do my face and my hair all over again. Oh, I was so upset.
That fella had a lot to learn about girls. Your mother lost all interest in him after she met me.
And the moral of that story is that I should be on time tonight, right?
You bet. And the same goes for Ann.
Any girl who can't be ready on time for a date isn't good enough for my boy. Well, what are you doing? Oh, go find a mirror so you can see yourself.
Hi, Woody.
Oh, hi.
Big night, eh?
Yeah. Flowers. Ann won't expect flowers, will she?
Huh? Oh, I hardly think so. I'm taking these to Mary because it's a special occasion. Of course, if you want to take flowers anyway, I guess there's no law against it.
But I don't have to, unless it's a ritzy affair.
That's the general idea. Flowers for a prom or a very special party. Otherwise, you don't need to. Say, I'll have to run.
Me too. See you later.
I'm going, folks.
All right, Ed. Have a nice time.
But when you're having so much fun, time goes all too fast. Well, it's the time Ann had set for getting home. And now, good night. The end of a perfect evening. But how do you say good night? Perhaps
Please.
But Ann.
Or it could go this way.
Well, so long.
Just like that. After all, a girl likes to know you've had a good time. So let's try saying goodnight again. One more way.
Well, it's getting late.
Yes, it is. I'd ask you in for a bite to eat if it weren't so late. Let's plan to get home in time for a sandwich or something next time.
Say, that sounds good. I'll call you next week.
Will you? Well, thanks so much. I had loads of fun.
So did I.
Good night, Woody.
Night, Ann.
Does that make you feel any better? Did it fill in the gaps? I very much love all those films around that time period. There's one, What to Do on a Date, Dating Do's and Don'ts, How to Be Popular, or no, Are You Popular? All of them talk about dating. And it's always been like, why do schools care whether or not you're going on dates? Well, it's all part of the greater thing of socializing people and getting them to where they're interacting with the opposite sex and eventually making it to where they will eventually become productive members of society and properly socialized. Anyways, in the 70s, well, 80s, there was no films like that for me. So I didn't really date in high school. All right, no surprise, I'm sure. All right, this is from National Archives, some work I've been doing. This is an amazing film. It's a Small Town. What do you think Small Town is about? Any guesses? Or write them in the comments. Small Town. It's a small town. All right. I'm in a weird mood today because of technology, etc. Here we go. Enjoy.
Main Street. It's not so very different from thousands like it all over the United States. Smaller, perhaps, than some you've known, yet large enough to service the needs of the local population. It has a modern drugstore where you can find hundreds of items from aspirin and razor blades to Cokes and chocolate sundaes. As usual, it's the favorite hangout for the younger set, who spend their leisure time indulging in laughter, calories, and that great American institution, the jukebox. There's a department store. Featuring the latest spring fashions. A hardware store. They're offering a special on gardening tools today. A library and a church. Strangely enough, its doors are always locked. But there are many strange things about this town. Even a casual observer would note the utter cleanliness of the streets and houses. He would also receive the impression that everything in town was brand new, as though it had sprung up overnight. A closer examination of the inhabitants would reveal that all of them seemed to be in their early 20s. Policemen, businessmen, mechanics. Even more unusual is the absence of older people and children. No matter where you look, there aren't any children. Yet the population seems large enough and busy enough. Most of the activity seems to center around the campus of a small college that is located in the center of town. As a matter of fact, the town is merely an extension of these classrooms. This is no ordinary school. The students here have been handpicked from thousands of applicants all over the country. Although they may come from different walks of life, certain characteristics are common to all. They are brilliant and determined.
We turn now to the subject of motor travel in the United States of America. You will find that as you drive from city to city, that few Americans any longer use the centralized hotels which have been a part of their past. Instead, they use small places of residence on the outskirts of cities, on the main highways, which are called motels, motor hotels, motor courts, and the like. But first, before going into this subject in more detail, we will see a short training film in which you will see demonstrations of devices which have been used successfully in the past, as well as some of the latest models that are available. Pay close attention.
This is a typical American motel. They can be found all over the United States. Since most Americans use automobiles as their basic mode of transportation, motels have become very popular. Because of the luxurious facilities that most motels offer, even those who travel by rail or air seem to prefer them to the ordinary hotels that are found near transportation terminals. As you can see, the interior of this room offers many opportunities for the use of surreptitious listening devices. A few years ago, the only devices available to us were tiny microphones, which could be installed behind the walls or under the floors. However, the installation of these microphones took time, and the accompanying wire made them susceptible to discovery. Today, we are no longer faced with that problem. To the unpracticed eye, there is nothing suspicious about this room. Nevertheless, these men are, for all practical purposes, speaking directly into a microphone. As part of the decor, most motel rooms display inexpensive lithographs enclosed in a simple frame. This one, however, is used to camouflage one of the simplest devices available. Enclosed within the frame, behind the print, is a complete battery-operated microphone and transmitter. There are no wires or buttons visible. The batteries can operate continuously for more than 200 hours and are easily obtained. The advantages that this unit possesses are obvious. A new picture can simply be exchanged with one already in the room, or if time permits, the existing picture can be utilized by inserting the transmitter kit into the frame. 3/4 of an inch is the minimum thickness of frame that is required for installation. Reception is usually excellent, no matter where the voices are located in the room.
On that production figure for DC, I have the estimated daily production at 3. What do you show unit cost at?
The estimated unit cost
Second one down.
is $5,245.
Not only can a conversation be plainly heard, but a permanent record made, one that can be used for future reference, simply by using this small tape recorder in conjunction with the rest of the equipment. The listener doesn't have to be close to the transmitter. He can be a block away, sometimes up to 1/4 of a mile away, if conditions are just right. A passerby would notice nothing out of the ordinary here, just a motorist checking his route on a road map. Appearances can deceive. That hearing aid in his ear is actually wired to a tiny receiver, which allows him to hear what is being said in the motel room.
I think they should. I don't see any reason why not.
A permanent record of the conversation can be made under these circumstances just as easily as if he were hidden from view. The recorder can be hidden quite simply, as this man has done. There is enough wire on the spools to record continuously for 4 hours if necessary. Volume controls are simple to make. However, entry is not necessary in order to hear what is being said within a room. If the wall is so thick that the sound waves are blurred or otherwise indistinct, a long metal probe can be attached to the mic and pushed through the inner wall to the inside of the wall of the other room. The vibrations then pass from the wall through the probe to the microphone, clearly reproducing any sounds emanating from the next room. The contact microphone has other uses. Because of its small size, it is easily concealed and can be used even in public with success. It is a simple matter to lean against a telephone booth without attracting attention. The microphone is simply carried in a coat or trouser pocket and pressed against the glass. The conversation can be heard clearly by the listener. The microphone is used in conjunction with a receiver that may be located either on the body of the carrier or positioned some distance away. These are only a few of the devices that are available. Let's look at them again. The picture frame transmitter. It can transmit all the sounds in an average room as far as 1/4 of a mile under optimum conditions. The contact microphone with different sized probes. It may be used with or without the probes and will faithfully reproduce all the sounds within an average room. Wristwatch mic. It will pick up a voice clearly up to a distance of 12 feet. The tie clasp microphone. Its range is also 12 feet. These small microphones will reproduce all sounds in an average-sized room. This wire recorder can operate continuously for 4 hours. The small tape recorder, which can fit into a shirt pocket, can record continuously for 1 hour. These are some of the tools of your trade, weapons of democracy. Learn them well.
After lunch, you will have an opportunity to try each of the devices which you saw in the film. We'll take each of them in turn, learn what makes them work, and then practice the different installations. It is now 12 o'clock. Class is dismissed until 1.
No, this is no ordinary college. The curriculum offers conventional courses in American history, geography, and chemistry, plus some in photographic techniques, electronics, encrypting and decoding, and lab courses in the use of explosives. The students you see here had to pass some of the most difficult entrance exams in the world. They are a special group. They have to be. The rest of the town's population is just as special. The entire town is a duplicate of what you would find all over the United States. It has modern stores, familiar brand names. The menus offer nothing but standard American dishes. The theater shows the latest Hollywood productions. But it's completely isolated from other population centers. It's called Winitsa and is located in the central Ukraine, one of the southern Soviet socialist republics. The entire town is a huge school designed to train Soviet youth how to live, think, and react like their American counterparts. They drive American cars and obey American traffic regulations. They follow the latest news of America, from sports to Hollywood scandals. Their English is not only flawless, but they specialize in dialects and accents. All of the inhabitants in town are instructors. They coach the students how to conduct themselves. They're even taught how to buy like an American. The only genuine feature about Winitsa is the fence that surrounds it. Winitsa, School for Spies, small town, USSR.
This is official, right? We're official use. Wow. I think Ernest was in the comments was the first to realize what was going on before it all went crazy, talking about hotel surveillance devices. Wow. Phenomenal. Amazing film. Sandia Corporation. Maybe related to Sandia Labs, but kind of not. This is referenced in also another film I have called Red Nightmare, which features, what's his name from Dragnet, is the host, and it kind of portrays initially that small town, and then it shows what happens when the Soviets take over our American town. Jack Webb, that's his name. All right, one last film. Maybe? Yeah. This is A Place to Live. Place to Live. That's not in the Soviet Union, I don't think. Enjoy.
What do they imagine they can make out of this? The history of Philadelphia, like the history of any great city, is written in stone for anyone to read. Each of its great towers is a monument to the changing city. Tall and flashing walls rise from the center of the town, imagined and built according to a plan 3 centuries old. Generations lived in the fine old buildings, with their broad windows looking out at the great trees, their rooms full of graciousness and charm. The old names and the stately homes giving way to long chains that stretch far out into the old farmlands. New homes in a city of homes, and even 1 or 2 giants in a place where most people live in their own houses. Thousands of houses surrounding an island where the towers stand together. An ocean of rooftops under which millions of people live and work. After the years of the little pioneer village, years of growth to this center of defense and industry. Side by side, the houses spread out over the flat valley. This is a city of people living in these wide miles of buildings. They are the city's true resource, its people, and its children. Living here, going to school, and growing up.
That's my boy, the one in the middle. People tell me he looks like me. He walks like his father. He's like his father in a lot of ways. If they've had a fine day, they'll come home good and hungry. It's people like them that make this town, not only the buildings. You get to know the place well if you come home from school the same way 10 times a week, 40 times a month. You may walk by the doorways without looking, but you have the feel of these streets all the time. I think about him in the streets, growing up here. I'd like things to go well for him. And when he comes in, if I can give him something special for his lunch, I like to. If I could do something for all of them, just little things. I wish it were all different. I wish I could do something real for them. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to cook you a fine, big dinner. I'd love to see a row of pots and pans lined up on a fine white stove.
I'll bet they don't give much heat.
Why, they're grand stoves.
They heat a whole place?
That's not the only way to keep a place warm.
I'll bet they don't even burn when you touch them. You used to be so scared.
Not about you. You could always take care of yourself. He grew up fast. He learned fast. And when he was little, we played games about things in the room. There was one about the stove. We're all around it, keeping warm, and it turns into a volcano.
And the fire shooting out, and then we'd run and hide.
And then it's all over.
And we'd sneak back softly.
And you go to the top of the mountain where the fire was. And I say to everybody, what an awful mess. There isn't much left.
Oh, that was to get us to clean up the place.
And sometimes it would end up with a whole new house. Or a whole new town, even. What made you look like that just then?
Oh, nothing. A rat. Guess I'll go play now.
That's the last of the wood.
What about the pile on the cellar?
Well, that won't ever burn. There's too much water down there. Will you get some this afternoon?
Oh, all right. Gee, she's lucky. She's a lucky size. Well, she really fits in there. It's a lucky size, all right.
And then I hear him as he goes past the room, growing up fast, going out to do what he can. And then the door slams. He's going out hunting. It's like going out in a forest. If there are any trails in this forest, my boy knows them. If there's a stick of wood, he'll find it. This is a city at peace. They tell us it's just about everything a city ought to be. It's growing every day, getting better every day. A city with a future.
A city with a past. Erected in 1700. When our ancestors, seeing the country open up before them, dreamed of this city as a refuge and left to us their forward-looking courage. Capital of the colonies. Capital of the United States. They proportioned their houses well. They laid out plans for a straight, clean city. They built for as long as the walls would last. They lived and died in the hope of that newest of all inventions, America. They meant this town for the virtues of living. Even as it went on, outgrowing itself, it cared about its homes and the good living for which they were built. Their candles and books and wine, fine dinners and roaring fires. What has this planned city come to? Has it worked? Or has it lost its plan? The city was built to be whatever it wished to be. The red brick 19th century town changed with the coming of concrete, steel, electricity. A great force in the world, Big, energetic, triumphant, turning out locomotives, textiles, tools, and the machinery of defense. The town growing all the time. People moving in all the time. The big city reaching out. For this city can be what it wishes to be. It can produce whatever it wishes to produce. Riches of any kind. Waste of any kind. Beauty of any kind. The heroes of the mind were pioneers. We look at their work preserved in museums, in stone, as a quiet and finished past. But the heroic past depended on living faith and a struggle which went on from day to day. Now the dead battles are kept forever shining. Fortunes have been spent on the city's distinguished landmarks, and its history lives in stone.
But what's the real city? Isn't it more than museums, more than smoke out of a steel mill? The city is people. All the fine people you see every day. The city is more than stone. A city is a mine of people, like a hill that's a mine of coal. They are what count. The people living here, my son, and what we want, and what we try to do.
These people have the law in their own hands. The law's on their side. It says that houses and land have to be kept decent and clean. The housing code has made provisions to take care of sanitation and repairs, and the code provides penalties for violations. Under the law, these must be wiped out. Broken down houses, lots filled with rubbish and broken glass. They are to the city what forest fires and landslides are to the mountains. But these are man-made, these fire breeders, disease breeders. Crimes against human life, punishable under the law. Crimes against people. But things are happening. Here and there, we can see signs that people are thinking about all these wasted places. Here and there, walls are going down. The shameful walls that cost a lot in suffering and heartbreak for the people who had to live in them. And new walls are going up. And tomorrow, where the ruins were, houses will rise. Their houses are being built. And once they're built, it's cheaper to keep them in shape than to pay the penalties of their collapse in terms of lives and health and money. As these walls go up, we begin to see the city as from the very first it was meant to be. Safe, happy, beautiful.
Look, Mother, this is what I wanted to find.
This lovely place, so easy to keep clean, would take a weight off my heart. All the things I ever needed, so easy to have. It's warm here. You can use every room.
I'd hurry home from school.
So much space, all for us, not in one room all the time.
I couldn't get here fast enough.
The whiteness of the walls and the beautiful light.
But it's not so simple. There just isn't room for you here. Every step of the way is hard going. They say you ruin a good house. They say you look for other slums when you do move. They say they can't solve the problem, can't afford to experiment. They say they don't see what they can do. They say anyway you don't know what's good when you see it. They call you worthless people. Call you poison to any neighborhood. They say it's not for you.
What is for him, then? What can his life be like here? What can a woman make of herself and her family? What can a boy grow up to be? They say they can't fix it. They haven't the experience. All I know is we live here. These streets, they're what we know. Somebody always playing in the streets, somebody always sick at home. They can talk big and proud like the lessons in the school books about the city, but they let it fall to pieces just the same. We're live people in a place that's half dead. It isn't as though we wanted the whole world. All we want is a place to be in. There must be other families, other cities, needing the same things. A lot has to be torn down, but right now a lot has to be fixed too. We need a place for our lives, a place to live in. All that's been done is only a beginning. We want them to go on with it. For the sake of us all, they've got to go on with it. Our children ask why. Why don't we have our homes? How can we answer their questions? Those questions are our own, too. This place is what we are and what we are likely to be. I think about my boy. I think about myself. How much we want to help get it done. How little we want.
A place to live in.
All the streets and houses. A place for people's lives.
It's time to put things in shape, isn't it? Don't they say it's about time?
That was made during that time. Things are bad, but things are going to get better. So maybe at some point things that are now bad will get better. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm looking forward to. Is things were bad in this country many times, and things got better. And one of the reasons they got better is because of community and people like you. So thank you for watching today and enduring all the technical difficulties that various things were thrown at me. And we will be back tomorrow. Everybody take care. Be a warm fuzzy. Don't be a cold prickly. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up. You can donate via the Super Thanks button or go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks or patreon.com/avgeeks. Those are great ways to support us. And we will see you tomorrow. Take care.